Texas, and the home of the Rice Owls, where we are anticipating a full house of fans who give a hoot. Today, two teams get set to square off in an intra-conference battle in the American. As we'll see, the Florida Atlantic Owls taking on the Rice Owls. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. About to put toe to leather and get this thing started. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
I love when defensive backs come up and they are physical and they stick their face in the fan and they aren't scared. Talking to the defensive coordinator coming into this game, he knew his DBs had to tackle well. They had to get these running backs on the ground. Great start on this first drive.
It's complete to the right. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down marker.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense catching the football.
The Owls come to the ball trying to pick up this third and short. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down.
And I think on that last run play on third down here early in the game, they're making a statement that we believe we're the more physical team and we're going to run the football even if you know it's coming at you. Nice job. They've got the ball at midfield. I expect to see more run plays coming up.
And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it at the last minute.
Well, that's disappointing for the offense because that's a play that you rep all week long in practice. You should be able to hit that one no problem, and QB receiver couldn't come up with a completion.
Out of the gun, the inside give. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys, and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
On third and long, he has to throw for it. Unloads to the wideout. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down.
Well, they try to throw for it there on third down on the opening drive of the game. They don't get it, but let's hunt the ball away. Let's trust our defense. And, guys, let's also trust this home field advantage and the crowd to get loud and make it real difficult on our opponent.
Gets it away, solid distance, but more importantly, trying to keep it away from that return man. They're going to throw it to start the drive. Caught in the backfield, it's Sands. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Not difficult, not complicated, but early in the game, get in that rhythm. Find that timing with your wide receiver so you're set up for success. Then you go attack deep later on.
Now here on second down, see if they keep tossing it around. Out of the gun, they give to the back. Finding a way to put that foot in the ground and get it up to the 37-yard line.
I think that was an example of the offensive coordinator trying to help out his quarterback. He's trying to keep these third downs manageable. You know, you throw the ball on second down and it's incomplete. Now you've set up third and long, and now you're set up to fail.
On third and short, they'll try to convert through the air. Grabbed in the middle, it's Henry. That'll be enough for a first down as he crosses the 50 and gets it to the 48.
Shotgun fundamentals are so key. He was like a shortstop, caught the shotgun snap and right away rifled it out of his hands like he was turning to. That was beautiful.
The give on the option. And the defense snows him under after a very short game.
Run game is good. Balance is good. Now, listen, if the run game isn't good, then you got to pass the football a little bit more. But sometimes you got to keep them honest, take them chunk by chunk.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Wants to go up top. Got it in the middle. It's Wilson. Turning it on. Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Florida Atlantic has the offense humming. Grabbed behind the line. It's Messer. Rams him with the stiff arm. He goes out of bounds right at the 10-yard line, and the offense can smell the touchdown from here. And the Owls pounded the rock to move the sticks. Now back to work.
42 Spider. 4-2 Spider.
To the air on first down. Lets it fly. Touchdown, Florida Atlantic. Made the grab in the end zone for the score.
Then how about the offense? They spread them out. Everybody spread wide. Easier to read a defense when you do that. They find the matchup they want, and they get rewarded with the score.
And he tacks on the extra point. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. Across the 25 to the 26 before going out of bounds, and that's where the offense will go to work. Rice takes over the Owls, ready to get that offense cooking again. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. Looking to throw on first down. Punts it out of the air. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
That last completion sets him up on second down. They'll run it from the gun. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And it's a great play by the defensive end. The most athletic players on the field play defensive end. Yes, you heard me, Jess, Reese. Exactly what I said. Great get off. Great job getting in the backfield, making the play.
Big third down coming from their own 31. Defense tries to get off the field. Looking to scramble. And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26.
That defender is a matchup nightmare for any offensive lineman to block. He's got athleticism, he's got length, he's got flexibility. He put it all on display on that sack.
Punt is on its way. Makes the catch, and now looking for just a little bit of daylight. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Florida Atlantic takes over again, and the Owls offense will go back to work. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. Quarterback now breaking the field. And he just chucks it into the fourth row.
Like the job by the defense there in coverage. They took every option away from the quarterback. He was outside of the pocket, nowhere to go with it, so they forced the incompletion throw away.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. Catch in the middle. It's Sands. Good pickup there as he gets the first down, and they'll mark him at the 48.
I like the running back there on the route and the patience he showed, really setting it up. He got to the defender, he was able to put his foot in the ground, get some separation, catch it, and turn upfield for the first.
The offense has it now at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Looking downfield on 1st down. Makes the grab. It's Messer. He stopped just a chain link or two away from the 1st down and sets them up beautifully here. The Owls have a lot of options on 2nd and inches. Using his legs, it's Sands. Defense scoops it up, and he's headed the other way. They drag him down pretty quickly, but the defense forced a big turnover.
Oh, and it's a hit like that that will absolutely light up the sideline, light up the stadium, change the momentum, and help you win a football game because that hit is what caused that fumble.
The give to the lone running back. They'll rip off 8 on that play. It's 2nd and 2.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on 1st down, man, you are doing just that.
And the Owls with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. Second down, he'll throw it. Fires to the big fella. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a 1st down. These routes have some reads and adaptability built in, and the big fella found that cushion and made the play.
Man, it's so awesome how much offenses have evolved. They know exactly what they're getting, where to sit down, quarterback, tight end.
And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44.
And protecting their quarterback is job number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want to put it up. They got to make sure they take care of him so he can make those plays. Defense wins this rep. They win up front, get to the quarterback, and get the sack.
Finds his man. It's Turner. And with that stop, we are headed toward the end of the 1st quarter. We've come to the end of the period, and Florida Atlantic has the lead. We've played one. Before we move on, let's have a look at the stats. Now to see if these guys can get back in the game in the 2nd quarter. So they go back to work after the break, and it is 3rd down. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Rushes on him. And they can't make the connection on 3rd down, but hold everything. There is a flag. Let's see what that's about. This defense happy with how that last play turned out, so they'll decline the penalty. Rice will be forced to send out the punt unit.
On to punt it away.
The kick is on its way. Special teams coming through as they pin them back. They'll mark it dead at the 10. They'll start this drive with a pass. Gets it to him on the screen. No, sirree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
Well, the defense sniffed that screen out perfectly. All the D linemen, they were reading the body language of the offensive line. They knew something was up, and when the screen pass got thrown, they were right there to make the tackle.
Second down, they'll go to the air. It's complete. Boy, that was a precision play all the way around. Throw, catch, tackle, bang, bang, bang.
I know we're a long way up here in the booth, but guys, y'all remember that ball you could throw that whistled? That thing was whistling. It had so many RPMs on it.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. The throw, picked off. What a play to set him up. They got him down pretty quickly after the pick, but now they've got it at the 15-yard line.
Tell you what, when you come out of your own end zone, you know, in the shadow of your own end zone, a lot of bad things can happen. You want to get a few first downs, get some space, so if you punt after that point, you can pin them a little bit deep. This is the exact opposite of what happened. Now you set them up in beautiful scoring field position already. Really bad play by the offense.
Rice has the ball back, and they're ready to send the offense back to the field. Here comes the heat. He's got it and still on his feet. Huge game before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Hey, guys, this running back's not just catching checkdowns or swing routes. You can get him vertically down the field and let him go to work, especially when you get man coverage. Take advantage.
He'll toss it. He's going for the goal line. Touchdown, Owls! Great job by the back on the option.
And a great job by the quarterback, Reese, making the right read. I got to get that defense to commit to me. Now I pitch it. Running back catches it. I'll take this. I'll do the rest. But it was a great read by the quarterback.
The extra point here would tie the game. And he puts through the extra point. They didn't have a whole lot of real estate in front of them when they took over possession, but they wasted no time. Couple of plays into the end zone. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Florida Atlantic has the ball back, and the offense will try to put together a drive. Mistakes are going to happen, as they did on that last drive. Now, how will they respond, Jesse?
And this is the kind of guy who's going to take full accountability. That was my bad. That's on me. I'm about to lead this offense now down the field and score some points.
Dang, Palmer, I wish I'd have played with you. I didn't play with many quarterbacks that were just like, yeah, my bad. Hey, guys, I got this. Sorry about that. It was more, you should have ran a better route.
The Owls with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. Looking to fire. Quick screen to the speedster out wide. Tackled at the 29. Let's give him 5 on that one. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 29. They'll move the wide receiver. Quick pass on the fly motion. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all run after the catch, so pretty easy for a QB.
You wouldn't have been the only All-American in this booth, David, if I were allowed to have push passes when I was playing quarterback. I'll tell you that. It is so hard to defend. It's so hard to seal that edge, especially when this guy's full speed ahead coming around the outside.
And that should be enough to give Florida Atlantic the 1st down.
You got to have short area quickness. That running back there doing what it takes to make sure he got that 1st down.
They've been very sharp on this drive so far. Now 1st and 10 from the 43. Wants to go up top on 1st down. He's got it down the middle. Stopped at the 46-yard line, but give him 10 yards and the 1st down. Florida Atlantic going back to work after moving the chains. They'll leave it with him. And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. From the gun, give on the inside. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. And the Owls come to the line on 3rd down, trying to keep this drive alive. They'll try to get it through the air. Caught over the middle. It's Sands. Just making a play, getting it to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st down.
And how nice is it, David, on 3rd down to have a viable option running routes out of your backfield? That's why this running back is so valuable to this offense.
Yeah, and what matchup do I want to play? I want to play matchups where I have the advantage. I got a speed matchup of a linebacker versus a running back. Nice route, looking like he's going outside, cuts it in. Nice timing and rhythm with the quarterback. Nice 3rd down conversion.
Snap's going to come from the 23 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Pulls it in. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. They'll run it in the red zone. It's Sands. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a 1st down.
It's great to have a physical offensive line that you can count on, that you can just lean on them up front and fall forward and get 1st downs. Man, what a comfortable, what a nice spot to be in if you're an offensive coordinator.
They're going to go right back to him on 1st down. And how about the work up front by that big defensive line?
Well, they try to go with the draw out of the shotgun, but just way too much penetration allowed up front. That defensive line just took that play over.
They get off the rock really fast, get in the backfield. The offensive linemen are supposed to push them upfield. Quarterback's got to sell it. Not anything really in that play in sync, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Back to pass on 2nd down. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. Fires to the right. Can't make the connection, and the defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion.
We just have not seen this offense look very sharp so far in this game, running or throwing it. In the second half, throwing it specifically, I think they need to find a better rhythm. They've got to find a way to get some completion strung together.
With jet sweep pass. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. And here comes the field goal unit. Splits the uprights. Good. And with that field goal, they now have the lead.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Motion from the wide receiver. They're looking for an advantage in the running game to the right. You'll take 4 yards on first down every time, 2nd and 6. Rice rushes to the line. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Bringing the heat. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
A good job by this defense. Great job in the secondary. Eyes on the quarterback. They took away the first option, made him go to option 2, made him go through his progression, and then they got time to get home and get a hit on the quarterback.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Got it in the middle. It's Falk. They make the stop about 4 yards short of the first down. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Rice will be forced to send out the punt unit. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. This late in the half, here's the question. How aggressive will the play calling be? Looks as if he's going to run it. Got to be smart, patient, great vision, uses all of that to get to the 29. Timeout called by the offense, and now they just have 1 remaining in the half. Running out of time here in the first half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Back to throw, time running short in the half. Throwing right. It's caught downfield. And it's a catch, but he's got enough for the first down. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Here they come, 1st and 10 from the 48. Wants to throw on first down. Right down the middle. Complete downfield. That should be the final play of the first half. So that'll do it here in the first half. Stay tuned. Halftime is coming. Rice ready to kick off and get things started here in the second half. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Florida Atlantic offense will return to the field. They had the lead to start the 3rd quarter, but I'd imagine ball security was a topic at halftime.
Yeah, and I think you take the lead and you try to stay optimistic with your team, but you also say, guys, if we had taken care of the football, this lead would be even bigger. We might have already knocked them out already, Palmer.
It's just about eliminating the mistakes at this point. You're right. This thing would be over if they hadn't shot themselves in the foot. So ball security, that is at a premium as this game goes on.
Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Back to pass. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
That's what I'm talking about. That is how you close. And when a guy's going to make a catch, you make sure he doesn't make it. Physicality, using your pads, running through them. And guess what? Not only this play does he feel it, next time he tries to go over the middle or feels footsteps, this will pay dividends.
Now on 3rd and 10, if they can move the chains here, maybe they can get this drive started. Here's the snap, looking to throw. For the 3rd straight play, the pass falls incomplete.
Well, I know this offense came out here in the second half hoping to build on their one-possession lead, but after that incompletion, I think the smart thing is to just kick it away here and let your defense play and try to get it back to you without giving up any points.
Makes a move. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. Rice takes over the Owls, ready to get that offense cooking again. They haven't really been able to light up this scoreboard, but putting points up would be... Oh, he can't hold the pitch, and the ball's loose. Defense got it. They're on the run. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back.
I'll tell you, honestly, I don't know what that player could have done to hold on to that football. That defender absolutely popped him. He knocked him into next week. There was no chance he was holding on to that ball.
Here's the handoff. There he goes. Got some room, headed to the goal line. Touchdown, Owls. He broke away from the defense, and they couldn't catch him.
Man, what a nice touchdown run, and this is a team effort, right? It's got to start with the offensive line to give you that crease, and then the wide receivers start to kick in, and the running back, he handles the rest. Nice touchdown run.
And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Bringing it out. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Rice has the ball back, and they're ready to send the offense back to the field. That deficit has now grown to double digits, down 17-7 as they start this drive. Hubs it downfield. And that one had some juice on it, but it's incomplete.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
Well, will they dial up on second and a long way to go? Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. He kept those legs moving, got 3 out to the 19. Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. Looking for a gap. It's Jackson. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a third down stop.
Well, it's a negative play trying to run the football, and I think if you're on offense, you got to be thinking about throwing it now. You're trailing by a lot. You got to get back in this game. You need tempo, and you need explosive plays through the air.
He will make the fair catch just a few yards shy of midfield. Florida Atlantic takes over again, and the Owls offense will go back to work. Took the last drive in for a touchdown. They'll try to do it again on this one. Quick strike complete. And he falls on top of his own fumble, and the offense will retain possession.
Good awareness by the offense. You never want to see the ball on the...
And wait just a second. The official's going to take a second look at this one. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. You want to talk about hearts and throats when that ball was on the ground? The offense recovered its own fumble. They'll go to work in the air on second down. Catch in the middle, it's Sands. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football. And a great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting the football, letting them get some positive yards.
The Owls come to the line on third and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Leaves it with the back. Across the 35. They'll pick up enough yardage for the first down. They've got it at the 30.
This running back loves running into the teeth of the defense. In between the tackles, he keeps a low pad level, and he's got some speed.
Florida Atlantic will go to work with a fresh set of downs. Might as well give it to him again. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
Well, this running back has had a pretty good day so far in this game, and I think the key right now is for the defense to find a way to slow him down. He had a good run 2 plays ago. The defense gets the TFL on this one. I think you got to change up your fronts defensively and try to give this offensive line different alignment looks to see if they can confuse him.
Going to swing it on 2nd down. Got him downfield. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the 1st down.
One of the things I love about the passing game we've seen on offense so far here is just how good the decisions have been by the quarterback. He's not being too greedy. When the shot plays have been there, he's taken them, and they've scored points because of that, but he just takes what the defense gives him, and you're just whittling away, and you're marching the ball down the field. Really good decisions by the QB.
Pulls and throws off the RPO. Touchdown, Florida Atlantic. And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
This guy is officially a problem. His 2nd receiving touchdown of the game. Nice job by the offense. Dude, if I've got a matchup I like, continue to pick at it until they stop it.
The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And he'll bring it back. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Rice takes over the Owls, ready to get that offense cooking again. After giving up that score, now it's incumbent on this offense to kind of get a back and forth going, Jesse, in this game.
They got to put some points on the board here. There's obviously a lot of football to go, so it's not necessarily panic time just yet, but I'm getting the ball into the hands of my best playmakers on this drive.
I hear you, Jesse, but not panic time. Have you seen my defense? I mean, I'm not trusting them to get a lot of stops, so it puts a lot of pressure on this offense.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. The option look. Now the toss. Got enough for the 1st. Oh, he's got some space. A tremendous run. He was full bore after taking that pitch. Just sweet execution.
And this defense has to be so disciplined. Like, you just got to understand, I can't all go for the quarterback. And too much attention on the quarterback. We didn't play the pitch really well. That's why this offense is really hard to stop.
Got a man. It's turned. They've got the defense reeling right now with that big play to the 29.
Yeah, and the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
They'll start this one from the 29 on 1st down. To the air on 1st down. Right on the money. And the Owls in a good spot here with 2nd and short. They go to the ground. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the 1st down.
Well, obviously the offense went 3 and out on their last drive. They're having a little bit more success here. That was a nice run, and I think that's the key, guys. If they're able to run the football, they're going to be able to stay on the field. And I think that's something you want to think more about if you're the play caller on offense.
He wants to throw it. Gets it to the back. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6.
This is the area of the field defensively. It really doesn't matter what they've done to get here. You got to bow up, try to force the field goal. Nice job on 1st down and goal, getting them tackled to the ground.
Quarterback adjusting the pattern. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. And he's on his way. He'll go all the way. Touchdown, Rice. Great example of how a second half can really change everything for a team.
No doubt. First half looked bad. It looked like it was bleak. It looked like it was ugly. But now you're starting to get it turned around. Then more drives like this is what's needed.
And with the extra point, every little bit counts as they get closer. They go 83 yards on the drive, and they get it into the end zone with a 6-yard touchdown pass. Not going to give him a chance to make a play as they boot that thing through the end zone. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. On the run, it's Sands. Showing off the arms. Good, solid run on that one as he gets it up to the 33-yard line.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
Goes to the option. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Well, he couldn't find any running room at all, and he'll end up taking a loss on the play.
Yeah, great discipline on defense, too, because if you're going to stop the option, you have to play assignment football. Everybody doing their job. There was just nowhere to go there for the QB.
Looking to the big tight end. A strike downfield. Coming through with that 3rd down conversion, and they'll mark it at the 43.
Well, another catch by the big fella. And, hey, this defense now in the second level, they've got to understand that they're going to see some play action. They can't keep biting on the fake. It's not easy to do. You've got to be aware of the tight end and his release. As soon as you see him get upfield, right now you know it's pass. So don't even worry about the fake. Get your eyes focused and find the big fella to go make a tackle or make a play on the ball.
Keep pounding away at this defense and make them play the run. If you can get this many a chunk, they're going to have to commit more guys to the box, more guys to the run. Then you open it up for the passing game.
Leaves it with the back. And they'll bring him to the ground after a short gain.
Well, I think the defense is expecting here on 3rd down that this running back's going to get it again. Got it on 1st, had a nice carry, got it on 2nd. Now he set him up in 3rd and short. You've got to be physical here and make sure this guy goes backwards.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. Gives it to the back on the draw. Stopped in the backfield, and this defense has forced him into 4th down. And talk about spreading the ball around. Everyone getting a chance to show off the hands based on the number of targets we've seen. 1 quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic 4th quarter finish. Florida Atlantic will have to send out the punt team. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. And that is an excellent punt as it lands out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Rice has the ball back, and they're ready to send the offense back to the field. How about the way they attacked the last time they had the ball, mixing run and pass and winding up in the end. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
It doesn't get any better for your defense. You know exactly the situation in the 4th quarter, everything in your favor. Don't let them make big plays. How about you make a big play? Nice job getting the interception. It's not icing on the cake yet, but it's getting pretty close.
He got a little antsy at the line of scrimmage, and they'll move him back. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty.
Ready? Let's go!
They'll go to the air. He'll take a shot. And a dangerous pass there, almost threw a pick in the end zone.
Ooh, your
living dangerously now. You've got the lead late in the game. Don't do anything to turn it over, and they almost did throwing it there. If I'm the head coach now, I'm thinking, man, let's just run the ball.
Throws to the wideout. And it's intercepted, maybe breathing a little life into this team. Got some room to run. He's at the 40. He's at the 20. Touchdown, Owls! And they turn it into a defensive score.
Oh, they could not have come up with a bigger play at a more opportune time. The defense getting the interception and taking it back to the house right at a point in the game when it looked like the offense was maybe going to pad their lead and seal this one. All of a sudden, this game has gotten really interesting.
And the extra point pulls them to within 3, 24-21. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Has the ball back, and the offense will try to put together a drive. That last pick six after a drive like that, David, can swing the momentum of a game.
The defense is still celebrating. I mean, such a big play. I mean, they gave up some yards but did what they're supposed to do. Now, Jesse, this offense has to put a drive together.
Yeah, they have to recapture some momentum here. What they can't do is go 3 and out and give the ball right back.
To the air on second down. Snagged in the middle, it's Collins. And they finally get him down, but not before. He's got him set up for business at the 49-yard line.
A nice catch by the big target. Those big tight ends, you could tell in football, are just becoming more and more of a weapon on every single team.
It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. Ground. Breaks into the open. Brought down at the 39 after a pickup of 10. It'll be a first down.
Well, the defense didn't blitz. They didn't have everybody in gaps, and the offensive line took advantage at the point of attack, getting some push, opening up a hole, and the offense ripping off a nice run there.
Florida Atlantic goes to work with a fresh set of downs. Looking to throw on first down. Makes the grab. It's Terrell. He'll pick up a few before being knocked out of bounds at the 31.
Well, look, this quarterback has struggled a little bit in this game with interceptions. Maybe he was being too greedy early on. That time made a real good decision. And I'll tell you what, that's a nice catch by the running back because that ball's in the air a long time. You're throwing it all the way out to the flat like that. He looked like a receiver making that catch and getting extra yards.
The Owls can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Looking for space. It's terrible. At the 20, he's got space. That is just the kind of run you want when you're trying to close out a game.
When the running back gets going and gets ahead of steam like that, so hard to get to the ground. That's why you blitz. That's why you bring pressure. That's why you bring more guys in the box so you can get him before he gets going. But once he got going, you could tell it was hard to get a hand on him, hard to get him to the ground.
From the red zone, looking for a man. Gets it out quickly. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend. Operating in the red zone here on second down. Motion from the wideout. Wants to go up top. Fires to the end zone. Pass is broken up, incomplete as they were trying to strike for 6.
Well, the defense knew this was going to be the guy the offense was trying to get the football to, so it looks like they've got a plan for him. Nice job.
They'd love to pick up this third down and get a fresh set with first and goal. They'll try to power their way ahead. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense.
Keep the foot on the pedal if you're on offense here. You got that yardage. Yeah, you didn't get the first down, but you set yourself up now to go for it here and keep this drive alive.
So the offense is going to go for it on 4th down. He'll ride his man on the option. Couldn't find his man, and they'll give up the football on downs.
And you could tell he trusted himself. He thought he could take off, get that first down. Just a little too much speed on that defense. They closed that gap so quick. Didn't let him get to the first down marker. Turnover on downs.
Looking downfield on 1st down. Dumps it to the back. Finds his man open. It's a running room. He's inside the 40. Running inside the 20. Touchdown, Rice. And they've moved out front here in the 4th.
And at this stage of the game in the 4th quarter, big-time players make big plays in big games. What a great job after he secured the catch in the open field, showing off the speed, taking it to the house, and with it, his team now has the lead.
And the extra point is good, and every point counts. It's now a 4-point lead in the 4th. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Florida Atlantic offense will return to the field. That last drive was promising at times, but stalled out, and they turned it over on downs, Jesse.
I think they got to do a better job here, just being better early in the downs. On 1st down, finding positive plays.
Yeah, and it's frustrating when you move the football and get stopped on the other side of the field and get no points. But they've had some success, and I like the aggressiveness. They just got to cash some of these drives in.
They'll go up top on 2nd and short. Grabbed over the middle. It's Terrell. They've got it out to the 34 after getting 5 there.
I just love quarterbacks that aren't greedy and that aren't always trying to throw the home run ball, right? 2nd down, you're in your own end of the field. The guy you want to throw to is not open. Just find the back. He'll go do something positive with it. This guy is a weapon, and you got to find him.
Oh, he's going to try to hit him over the top. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
Well, the defense is starting to figure it out, I think. It's taken him some time. This guy already has 2 touchdown catches. That time, though, they were in a better position in coverage to force the incompletion.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Wants to throw it. Under fire. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
And imagine the defense in this scenario, right? You're up by 1 possession. You need to get to the quarterback. You've got to affect him. You're going to blitz or you're going to try to win one-on-one up front. They did it that time, hit him, and forced the incompletion.
Certain moments in the game you know are just a little bit bigger. Here's one of them. Big play coming on 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Going deep. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
3rd and long situations are really hard to convert. The defense knows it's going to be passed. The pass rushers are getting upfield. You're under pressure. You don't have timing. And as a result now, 4th down.
Florida Atlantic will send the punt unit onto the field. Wants to bring it back. They'll get down and put a stop to this return. They'll mark it at the 32. Rice takes over the Owls, ready to get that offense cooking again. They torched this defense with an explosive passing play for a score last time out. Let's see if they go right back at him. Firing to the right, complete. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here. We'll head to the 2-minute timeout. Tight ball game here, and this offense will try to milk the clock. And the Owls have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Smart move to keep it on the ground. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
Well, that's just tough, hard-nosed running. You need 1 yard to get, let the running back figure it out.
Now on first down from the 43-yard line. Wants to go up top on first down. And it just squirted through his hands. He wanted to take off and got too anxious.
Well, it doesn't get any more open than that. Good read by the quarterback. He was looking for his tight end. Wide open on the play. Man, you got to make the catch.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on first down. Now back to the air. Grabbed in the middle. It's Barnett. Lots of green grass as he gets it to the 31.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Picks up the first down, still moving. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense.
It's got to be tough right now on defense. You need to find a way to get a stop, and you haven't been able to do that in the fourth quarter. You've been giving up points. You just gave up a touchdown in the last drive. You need a turnover. You need to do something right now to stop this momentum.
Rice trying to close the deal and run out the clock. To the ground, he's got it again. Not this time. After finding running room on the previous play, nowhere to go this time around as the defense rises up. Got some work to do on second down after that last one. They need 13. Looking to fire. It's complete on the right side. Touchdown, Rice. All that baby in and then strolled into the end zone for the score.
Well, they get the touchdown when they needed it most. That score now makes it a two-possession game. And guys, with just seconds to go on the game clock, this thing is all but over.
And the extra point is up and good, and they have an 11-point fourth quarter lead. They took it 68 yards on that drive. They finish things off with a 21-yard touchdown pass.
Number 82, set to kill.
And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Might be looking to run. Pulls it in. It's Wilson. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be second and just a few breaths away from the first down. The Owls come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Second down, he'll throw it. Here's a throw downfield late. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a third down.
Time is not on their side right now. They can't afford too many more incompletions like that. They need to come up with some connections, and they've got to score points. They've got to get this passing game going now.
A deep throw as the clock winds down. What a spectacular grab there as they try to finish this game with a little something to feel good about. They'll call timeout with 9 seconds left on the clock. Florida Atlantic going back to work after moving the chains.
Let's go.
Looking to throw on first down. He's not afraid to go deep. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
And the defense is playing with a sense of urgency right now. Obviously, they're playing with the lead. They know this offense needs to find a way to generate points, expecting a shot on that last play, so nice job in coverage.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Buys a little extra time. And he'll get in for the late touchdown, the consolation prize, the window dressing score to make the final outcome a little closer.
And that sure feels like too little, too late. This offense, they needed to score and execute faster, but there's not enough time to me, man. This feels like this one's over.
They'll go for 2 here and try to climb within a field goal late. Wants to go up top. Got it in the middle, it's Smith. He's in there for the 2-point conversion, and now they're within a field goal.
Rice, 35. Florida Atlantic, 32.
Plenty of fireworks in this one. A lot of points. They always talk about having the chalk last, and it seemed like whoever was on offense had the last laugh.
It's amazing how much offense has just boomed in college football. So good, so many ways to hurt you. And you saw both of these offenses put on a show today, Jess.
Dave, we talked to both of these coaching staffs, and their defensive coordinators were losing sleep all week. They knew this was going to be a tough task ahead of them. So much speed, so much firepower on both of these offenses. And, man, we saw that here today.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.